On June 7, 2021, Alex Murdaugh, a member of the well-known Murdaugh family of attorneys, reported the discovery of his wife Maggie and son Paul's bodies near the dog kennels at their hunting lodge in Islandton, South Carolina. Both victims had been shot multiple times in the head, wrists, and chest with different weapons. Alex claimed to have been with his mother, who has dementia, at the time of the killings, which was later determined to be around 9 p.m. In October 2021, it was revealed that the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division had identified Alex as a person of interest in the investigation from the beginning. The investigation has faced criticism for failing to collect DNA evidence, allowing family and friends to walk through the crime scene, and rainfall that spoiled the evidence. The investigation's mishandling has made finding the perpetrator of this heinous crime more challenging. In July 2022, Alex Murdaugh was indicted by a grand jury on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime in connection with the deaths of his wife Maggie and son Paul. The indictment alleged that he shot his wife with a rifle and his son with a shotgun. Cell phone footage reportedly placed him at the scene. Prosecutors suggested that his motive was to gain sympathy following financial issues. He pleaded not guilty, and prosecutors sought life imprisonment without parole rather than the death penalty. Before we get to the trial, we should briefly go over Murdaugh's indictments for financial crimes. On December 16, 2022, Alex Murdaugh was indicted for 9 counts of willful attempt to evade or defeat a tax. For tax years 2011-2019, Murdaugh allegedly failed to report $7 million of income earned through illegal acts, thereby causing state taxable income to be underreported to the state of South Carolina. The crimes charged in the indictment carry a penalty of up to 5 years in prison and/or a fine of up to $10,000 plus the cost of prosecution. This was in addition to 99 charges in 19 indictments against Murdaugh for schemes to defraud victims of $9 million and $5,000 to the state of South Carolina. Alex Murdaugh's trial started on January 25, 2023, at the Colleton County Courthouse in Walterboro, South Carolina. He was represented by Dick Harpootlian and Jim Griffin. The prosecuting team is led by Creighton Waters, and John Meters was hired by the Attorney General of South Carolina to assist in the prosecution. Witnesses for the defense and prosecution were expected to number in the hundreds. During the trial, the defense counsel argued that questions related to Murdaugh's financial crimes should be prohibited, but the judge overruled their objections. On February 7th, Judge Clifton Newman ruled that the testimony related to Murdaugh's alleged financial crimes was admissible, and the jurors were entitled to consider whether his financial situation was a motive for the killings. Throughout the trial, there were several disruptions, including a bomb threat that forced the court to evacuate, and a new charge filed against Murdaugh for passing contraband in the courtroom. 2 jurors were also dismissed and replaced with alternate jurors due to testing positive for COVID-19, and 1 juror was dismissed for improper conduct after discussing the evidence presented. The closing arguments began on March 1st, with attorney Creighton Waters delivering the state's closing statement and attorney Jim Griffin delivering the defense's closing statement. Attorney John Meters delivered the state's reply and final argument. The jury was charged and began deliberation on March 2nd. The trial of Alex Murdaugh began with prosecution witnesses, including first responders and SLED witnesses testifying about firearms, ballistics, and data collected from Maggie's phone. The prosecution called multiple witnesses to testify about Murdaugh's financial situation before the murders occurred, arguing that the motive was stress caused by the impending discovery of Murdaugh's financial crimes. The prosecution rested their case on February 17th, and the defense called their first witness, the Colleton County coroner, who testified about the estimated time of death. The defense called several expert witnesses, including a crime scene engineer who argued that the presumed height of the shooter was not consistent with the defendant's height. On February 23rd, Murdaugh took the stand and denied shooting his wife and son. He admitted to stealing from legal clients and his firm, as well as repeatedly lying to law officers. The defense called a pathologist and a bloodstain spatter analysis expert who believed that 2 shooters could have been present. The defense also called the defendant's brother, John Marvin Murdaugh, and rested their case on February 27th, motioning for a directed verdict, which was denied by Judge Newman. The prosecution began their reply case by calling witnesses, including a police chief who associated with Murdaugh and a crime scene expert previously called. The prosecution rested their reply case on February 28th. Throughout the trial, the prosecution attempted to compel a representative of Snapchat to testify about a video posted by Paul Murdaugh minutes before his death, and the defense disputed the recordings made during the interview with Murdaugh in a car. The trial garnered attention for its sensational nature and the prominent status of the Murdaugh family in South Carolina. On March 2, 2023, Alex Murdaugh was found guilty of 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of possession of a weapon during a violent crime. The verdict was broadcast live across the U.S. due to the intense public interest in the case. The defense motion for a mistrial was denied by Judge Newman, who stated that the evidence of guilt was overwhelming. Murdaugh was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole on March 3, 2023. He was transported to the Kirkland Correctional Institution for evaluation, after which he will be sent to a maximum security prison more permanently. It was noted that good behavior could eventually lead to a transfer to a lower security prison. Did you follow the Murdaugh trial closely? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say. Please consider giving this video a like if you liked it. That really helps with the algorithm. Additionally, consider subscribing to the channel for more true crime. Till next time, signing off. This has been Christina.